was a bit shaky. So I was having tea and I was trying to find a tape where I can tape it up and quickly go in and back because tea was for 15 minutes and Lord's is a big walk from the balcony to the ground. He quickly ran up to me and said, superb knock, well played. Just because you got 100, I am going to strap your bat up. So he took the tape out and strapped the handle up, and I used it for the rest of the series also. But we started interacting from the start of the tour. I still remember the first game in Sussex where it was freezing. And he made me stand. He was captain that game. Azhar wasn't playing, and he made me stand at Silly Point. And I first back into the team, young boy, debutant, stand at Silly Point, and he was standing at slips. And Hirwani was bowling in the month of May. And I tell you, the temperature must have been 2 or 3. And the cricket ball wasn't coming out of Hirwani's hand. So he was bowling a few half volleys, a few full tosses, and I was standing at Silly Point trying to take a catch. All I did for those 15 minutes was make sure that I don't get hit. Because there were drives going through my legs, next to my legs, and Sachin realized that it was a tough job making me stand there. So he took me out of Silly Point and said, please go and stand in covers, but make sure you stop it at covers because it's going to come to you at a lot faster pace. Then he became captain once he came back to Australia. He was a very intense captain. I've always said that my cricket blossomed under him. A lot of people might say that his records as a captain are not very good, but as someone, a young player who was trying to establish himself into the Indian team, he was a very supportive captain to me and Dravid both. And it's very important that a captain has faith in the young boys. He showed the faith he had on us. I was asked to open in one-day cricket, and that made me a one-day player. We both opened nearly for 220 games after that. That probably made me a one-day player, what I am now. We knew each other's game very well. We had played so much with each other, and we watched each other so much from the other end closely. There were times when me and him could actually visualize what we were thinking mentally. And there are times when I've seen Sachin not playing well, I would quickly go and tell him, listen, you're trying to hit the ball too hard or you're too anxious. And he would say that, yes, I am. I said, so relax. Every time he hanged back, I knew he was in trouble. So I would go and tell him, Sachin, you need to get onto the front foot as soon as possible because you're hanging back, you will find yourself in trouble. And he became a completely different player after that. And there have been times when I would give too much room to cut it. So he would come and say that, I know your game is through the offside, but you're trying to make too much of room which will put you into trouble. And we just understood our game very, very well, especially in the one-day format because we opened again with each other for so long. Sachin Tendulkar's achievements, his records, his accolades has just come from his passion to do well and love for the game. Because you cannot walk out into a cricket match or a test match thinking of getting 100. You walk out into a test match, I'm going to bat 6 hours, I'm going to drive, I'm going to cut. And then you go and make 100. So, when somebody says Sachin is playing for records, it's crap. You cannot play for records, yeah? You cannot just wake up one fine morning, sit in the breakfast table, okay, it's a test match today, I'll go and get 150, that will make another record for me. These things don't happen. It's just the passion for the game, his love, and just the will to succeed. His captaincy, he was bringing up a young team. He didn't get the expected results as captain, but then one must realize that the captain is as good as his team. My tenure as captain, I was lucky enough to get people like Tendulkar, Dravid, Ganguly, Lakshman, Sehwag, Kumble, Srinath playing their best cricket. Then the same thing with Dhoni. He's got guys who are just exceptional world beaters, a Sehwag, a Gambhir, a Tendulkar, Dhoni himself, VVS Lakshman, Harbhajan Singh, Zaheer Khan. He's also had this fantastic bunch of players in his team, which has made this team so special. Sachin got into an era where he was trying to rebuild a cricket team. I had just walked into the test arena. Dravid just walked into the test arena. Kumble was a very good bowler, but he wasn't the great Kumble what you've seen since 2000. Srinath was good. Srinath was probably the biggest weapon he had at that time. He was quick, fast. He's blown off at times. I still remember in West Indies when he was captain and we wouldn't get the results. He just took me on in a team meeting. He said, if you want to perform, you have to work even harder. The other day I was a bit upset in Bangalore and I received a lot of criticism because of that. But that comes out of passion. And that man also had passion. That man also wanted Indian cricket to do well. Took me on in the West Indies and said, if you don't train harder, I'm going to drop you. And I came back from the tour, I got 300s in 4 test matches consecutively, with a 99 in the fourth one.